I wouldn't say surprising. It's just really refreshing to see him. Really, he's got a step or two that I don't think he had before. He's lost a ton of weight coming back from the injury. But it was just awesome to see him back and in rare form. From our perspective as coaches, I'm sure from a fan's perspective, you guys watching, like it was great to see number 5 back out there kneeling. It was awesome.
We talked a lot leading up to this season about how deep the wide receiving room was going to be this year. Just what was the most satisfying part of seeing that play out on Saturday and the most impressive part?
Yeah, I think the satisfaction, I think that's yet to come. I think, going out and seeing those guys make plays are awesome. But I also think that there's an accountability with having a deep room that you got to go show up. Like, you've done enough to create an expectation. So I think, the satisfying part and the best is really yet to come. We got to continue to work so that on each Saturday we can see those plays being made.
What the rotations looked like in the first half, is that kind of what you anticipate we'll see over the course of the season, just obviously repeated for 2 halves?
Yeah, I mean, we hope to play more guys. Like, we've got a liberty in that room that we got a bunch of guys we trust, it's been the first time we've really had that since we've been here. So absolutely we want to continue to play more guys. But to my previous point, like, it has to be a trust aspect. Like, guys got to earn it every single week. And as they keep doing that, they'll keep seeing playing time. We'll keep making plays.
Coach, you've talked about Dante Thornton, the work he's put in, the different mindset, and then obviously moving to the outside. What are the specific things that you saw from him in the game that led to his success?
He was just able to play fast. Like, he caught one early, which led to another. He got off to a hot start, which was awesome for him and really for our group to be able to see that because they feed off one another. But like we talked about last time, his biggest deal is just staying positive, regardless if it's good or bad things happening. He's done that this offseason, and it's led to him gaining a ton of confidence. So as long as we keep him kind of trending that way, I think you'll continue to see him train as well as a player.
Coach, as a receiver, when you're out there and Nico is ripping throws in like he did the other, hitting guys in tight spots, just how much of a sense of urgency does that give guys to want to work hard for him? That, like, if I do my job, the ball is going to get there.
I tell you this, I played quarterback in high school and college, and I played receiver at a high level for a long time. I've seen a handful of guys that receivers want to go play for, and you can see it, you can sense it. They love playing for that guy, like absolutely love playing for him. It's infectious in practice. It's obviously easy in the game because the crowd's there and there's adrenaline. But they absolutely love playing for that guy. And as talented as he is, he's an even better teammate and a better leader. So that's a testament to him and the growth that he's shown since coming on the campus. It makes our group, our camaraderie, it makes the chemistry that much better when those guys love each other and they play hard for one another. So they love playing for A-ball.
Yeah, just curious as to what you see when you look at NC State. What's the challenge? What does their secondary do that will challenge your guys this week? And then can you give an update on where Staley and Mike Matthews are?
Yeah. NC State is a veteran group. They got a ton of older guys. They'll present some pictures on the back end where you got to be ready for a ton of different coverages, looks. You just got to be ready for a ton. And as far as those young guys, they're trending in the right direction right now. We're going to continue to take it day by day with those guys, but they're training, they're working hard to get back.
Coach, a lot of the statistics favored your outside receivers. What did you think of what Squirrel and Chaz were able to do inside in the slot throughout the game?
I think both of those guys played tremendous without the ball. We keep talking about, the depth in the room. There's a lot of things that comes with that you got to be able to handle. There are positives about that, but if there's depth in the room, there's also only one ball. So every day won't be my day, right? So what I challenge these guys to do is that even if I'm not a 5-6 catch guy on that specific Saturday, you got to go affect the game. You got to do it in the run game. You got to go be a great teammate without the ball. And if you watch Squirrel White and his tape from this weekend, it was his best game by far of him blocking on the perimeter. It didn't matter if we were at the 50-yard line, we were on the +2-yard line going in, and he's being violent and he's playing hard in the run game. Chaz was the exact same way. So both of those guys did a tremendous job. And for me as a coach, those things are probably more fulfilling than the touchdown catches because you don't see it. There's no applause. Nobody even notices it. It's a character thing. And so I enjoy seeing those aspects being played out on Saturday.
Coach, a couple questions. First of all, with Chris in his first game in the system, how do you think he operated with the tempo and everything in the plays he made? Secondly, you talked about character plays. What did you think of Nathan Leacock running down that interception return?
Yeah, Chris, I'm sorry. You had another question? I didn't mean to cut you off. Chris did an awesome job, especially with him getting here, and he's really the newest guy in the room. He's done an incredible job of getting himself prepared to play. He's always in the building. Like, he's truly done what it took to learn this offense and learn kind of how we operate and do things. If he continues to operate in that way, like, you'll continue to see good things from him. Nathan Leacock's play that's what you want to see as a head coach, as a receivers coach, shoot, as an AD, because that gives you a glimpse of what your football team looks like. That's a kid who maybe he didn't play as many snaps as he wanted to early. I don't think he had a catch at that point. And as soon as the pick was thrown, he didn't bat an eye. He turned and sprinted in the opposite direction to go stop a touchdown. They had an opportunity to kick a field goal that drive also. I think they missed a field goal. Like, we kept those guys out of the end zone, and it's solely from that play. But that's a kid who's battled injuries. That's a kid who's gone through adversity, and he's fighting like crazy to go make a play and add value on the field. Like, that shows you what type of culture you got. When a guy like Nathan Leacock, a young guy, he's exemplifying that. Like, you got to imagine what that building looks like every day. So seeing him do that, like, hype showed it in the team meeting. We praised him on the sideline. Like, that was an awesome play. That was really good by him. But that's who Nate is. He's a fighter, and he's going to keep swinging until the very last second. So that's awesome to see.
Why do you think the chemistry in your room is as good as it is? I mean, receivers, like you said earlier, I mean, they want the ball, right? They want their opportunities. You're talking about guys doing all the little things. Why do you think this group and this group of guys you have in your room are this way?
Yeah, there's still some of that. They all still want the ball. They still receivers. But I think they truly love each other, man. Like, right, it's easy to go celebrate for a guy I really care about. Like, when I know his family, I know what he's been through. You know what I mean? Like, it's easy to go celebrate with a guy who I've been in the trenches with, I've sweated with, I've sacrificed with. Like, it makes it really easy. Even if I want personal success, man, I got to go help that guy celebrate. And I think that's what you're seeing on the outside. But they all want the ball, which I want them to want the ball. We got to understand that, man, some days it's going to be my day. And if it's not, I got to go affect the game in a different way. I got to go add value some type of way.
Last two, Ryan and Case.
Kind of piggybacking off of Ben's question on the slot receivers not getting a ton of targets. Was that something you anticipated going into the game with what you saw from Chattanooga on tape, or is that just kind of how the game unfolded?
Yeah, that's really just how it unfolded. You got nowhere really predicting. Like, you know what coverages are coming. You got different beaters at different position. But it really just happens how it happens most of the time. You get designated shots sometimes. You get designated calls sometimes. But, you know, it just happens that way. It unfolds that way sometimes.
Going back to Chris Brazel, he was the first guy on the field to warm up on Saturday, over 2 hours ahead of kickoff. Just curious of how that speaks to the character you've seen from him and his drive out on the football field.
Yeah, he's a gamer. He's most competitive guy, one of the most competitive guys on the team. Right before kickoff, he's like screaming on the sideline. Like, I was worried that something was wrong. And it's just, that's his demeanor. Like, he's in it. He's engulfed. Like, he immerses himself in this game. And I think, you know, Chris is one of those guys, he's all or nothing. Like, he's going to do something 100% of the time, full speed. And that's why you see him out there that much. Like, he loves the game, which gives him a shot to be really successful and really good at this game. Thank you. Thank y'all.